All right, so I finally got this thing right. I had to like restart it like twice. Um, pull this window down. It's pretty hot out here. Um, but I just wanted to make another live video. I wanted to make this live. I haven't made a video like this in a while. Um, like driving with the road, kind of in the, you know, with the road basically as like the visuals of the video. But I kind of wanted to talk about my business a little bit, like my clothing brand a little bit, and just kind of talk about where I'm at with it. So, like, so far, what I've gotten done is I've gotten the website redone. Um, so the website is done. Right now, I'm not really focused so much on marketing or promotion. Like right now, I'm really just trying to focus on making, a lot of designs, you know, um, a lot of unique designs that I think will basically kind of just, show and tell what the brand is really about. Um, and I guess if I had to say like what the brand is about, it's about a lot of things. So the brand is basically about, it's called Infinite Nature. And I've said this before, but the brand basically represents like imagination, infinite possibilities. That's why you see like a lot of stuff like aliens and Bigfoots, and I plan on like working more like kind of like mythical creatures into like the brand. But like you'll see stuff like angels and all kind of shit. Probably like I don't know, fucking ghosts and shit. But it's basically about the unseen realms and like the imagination and the imaginary realm, spiritual realm, and how that realm kind of symbolically, metaphorically is a representation of infinite possibilities, like the quantum realm where all these types of things, exist and don't exist simultaneously. So like that's like the idea behind the brand, and like the themes of the brand are, I want to be, I like to basically promote like, I guess, fun activities, hobbies, really any kind of action sport. But the two, I guess you could say, themes in the brand. What the fuck is that? Sorry, y'all. It's something at Miller Street. Had to dodge it. Okay, we're good. But the two things primarily, at least at this point right now, that I'm focusing on is are motorcycles and skateboarding. Those two things that I gravitate towards, but more than likely I will kind of incorporate, other types of activities into the brand. But I just really want to kind of mix themes of like spirituality, action sports like racing, motorcycles, with like imagery of like aliens and spiritual symbols and um, symbols, themes, imagery, just that whole idea and kind of combining all of that into like one. It's kind of different, but it's kind of not. Just I guess the way that I'll be doing it would be different based on my perception. But really, it's just all about creating a brand that represents that anything is possible, infinite possibility, imagination, and um, all possibilities. So like that's basically what I want the brand to represent, and that's my intention on the themes and the now I do like add like humor and kind of like just real life situations in some of the designs. Like I made this design of like a alien buying a motorcycle at a dealership, and his girlfriend is like standing there off to the side, like she's pissed off because he got this motorcycle, and like the sign that the alien's holding says that I got this motorcycle because my girlfriend was playing games. I make stuff like that too, but that's more so like to kind of like appeal to there's different types of people that will find different types of themes and styles and clothing appealing. So I'm trying to learn how to kind of incorporate different levels of humor and and just imagery to where it's kind of like happy go lucky, but then you got some stuff that's like fuck this bitch. I'll kind of like go to like different extremes because like that's kind of like also too what like infinite possibilities kind of represents. It's not all about super like happy go lucky, everything's wonderful, but it's about real shit. Like, yeah, I bought this bike because my bitch, she was like playing games, so like instead of investing this energy strictly all into her all the time, like I got something that made me feel good, and now she's kind of mad about that, like shit like that. Like you just never know. But like I really want to make this brand for everybody, and not just for men, but for women too. Like I generated a design where it had like female aliens on motorcycles, and it says like girls night out. I'm trying to get better at working on like girl designs because I'm not really sure like what women like as far as like designs, but I try to do what I think they would like visually. I'm also trying to like get better at not making all of my designs look so cartoonish, and really like learning how to, because I make most of my designs by AI right now, but probably going forward I'll probably utilize other techniques like just simply graphic designers, which I have actually used graphic designers as well for other designs. But right now I'm trying this approach for expense reasons, but going forward I probably will do both, like Chat GPT and other forms of AI software to help create images. A lot of people don't like that because they feel like it's not real art. Well, I'm like, first of all, like my thing is, y'all, like I never claimed to be an artist. I sell clothes. I generate images that go on clothes. I never said that I was an artist. I never walked around saying, hey guys, I'm an artist. Like, no, I create a clothing brand and I put images on clothing. That's all I do. I'm not an artist. I don't sit down and have I tried to create art? Yes. Do I like to try to do it sometimes? Yes. But I am not an artist. I don't claim the title of being an artist. So let's get that squared away right now, because there's so many people I hear about that have a problem with people, like they get offended. I'm like, I'm not an artist. I just make things that go on clothes that I sell. What's wrong with that? Well, AI is not like, it's like, I see plenty of AI generated art and clothing that I like and that I would buy. I don't give a shit if it's made by a person's hands or software. I personally don't give a shit. If I like it, I like it. So that's how I feel about that. It's just, I see so many people like really upset that people use technology to basically help or try to help to create a better, to make their lives easier, or to make, any type of work more easily or more efficient. Like that is what technology is for. Technology is supposed to make our lives easier and better. If you're not using technology to your advantage, like what the fuck are you doing? Now, do I want technology to do everything for me? No. At the same time, too, I do my best to be balanced with all these technological advantages. Like, there's some things that I want to do on my own. Like, I still want to, keep a certain level of autonomy and independence with, myself and my being. I'm not saying that technology should do everything for us. I'm not saying that technology should literally think for us. But what I am saying is, if we can use technology in our favor to save time, because that's what it's all about. It's about, basically utilizing this technology to give us more time, to give us a better quality of life, because time is money. We all need more time. So if I can use AI technology to make creating, you know, um, uh, things for my business quicker and easier, so that I can generate extra income that can improve my quality of life, why would I not take advantage? Why would I not take advantage of that? See, the problem is a lot of people, they think too much. If you have, like, people that are rich, that make lots of money, they do things the easy way, like not the hard way. Like, now, some things you have to do the hard way, but I guarantee you, if there's an easier, more efficient way without lacking quality, that people can do things, these billionaires, they're working smart. They're not working hard. We care. There's so many people that care so much about, oh, you got to just grind hard. Why would I work harder at something when I can do it quicker and easier? Oh, because that's the right way. That's the more, like, oh, you can, no, hell no. No, I'm going to use technology to benefit me, to make my life easier and better. Point blank, period. So yes, I use AI software, image creators, to create a lot of my designs. Yes, guilty as charged. And you know what? People like it. But even though the AI is physically creating the images, all of the images are coming from my imagination. So the scenery, like the details, like the colors, like all those details in the image, that part of the creation or creativity came from my mind. Just because I didn't physically draw it out does not mean that I didn't create it. AI just happens to be able to do it a whole lot quicker. But I'm still creating that scene or that world or that, image in my mind. It first existed in my mind, and I brought it forth by describing it to a program that did it for me, that did it quicker. Yes. So anyway, I kind of got off track just now, but um, now, does AI have limitations? Yes, absolutely. Um, that's why there's some things that I will probably still utilize a graphic designer for. But right now, I am utilizing AI software and stuff like that the most that I can to save money. Now, I am paying an extra fee. I was using Chat GPT, the free version of it, but I did upgrade to because the free version, you can only generate, like, I think, like, 15 or 20 images in like an hour or something like that, or 2 hours, or per day, something like that, and then it'll cut you off. But now I basically have unlimited image generations, as much as I want, all day, every day. That costs about $20 a month. So yes, I did buy the upgraded paid version of Chat GPT because I'm utilizing it to make designs. Yes. So yeah. But again, where I'm at with my business is I did redo my website, and right now I'm not really focused on that. I do post like all of my images on my Facebook website or Facebook page, but I don't really do that to promote it. I kind of do that for like a library and for like people to see. Um, but I'm not necessarily doing that to make sales right. I'm not really focused on making sales right now or gaining followers because if you look on the page, like I don't have like no followers. I'm well aware of that. I know that I don't have any followers. I know that because I'm not really focused on that right now. I'm just focused on making basically building the brand up, building up what I actually sell, and making those things good first. And then I worry about, okay, this is what I have, this is what I've been doing, this is what's available. I'm not worried about, at first I was trying to like promote and make stuff at the same time. I'm like, no, just focus on one thing at a time. You can't do everything at once. You can't focus on, getting exposure and then making a good product at the same time, you know? So I'm like, I'm learning that you have to kind of focus on one thing at a time. You can't do everything all at once because if you do everything all at once, you're going to end up kind of coming back with those kind of shitty results. So like again, right now I'm not really focused on promotion or exposure. More than likely, I'll probably hire somebody to kind of help me do all that. You can literally hire people that can actually um, do certain things to get your brand more exposure and promote you more. Certain things with the algorithms and your website and just certain marketing things you can hire people to do, certain content creators. Because one thing I learned is you can't do everything by yourself. And part of the reason why I was getting so burnt out was I was trying to do everything all at once, all by myself. And some people are just better at certain things, like marketing, and they specialize in stuff like that. Now I will be probably doing some marketing type, promotional type things. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. But yes, I definitely personally plan on doing some marketing promotions, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I will definitely be utilizing or hiring people to, when I get to that stage, to help me get the exposure and the following that I need to kind of get this brand where it needs to be at. But I'm not stressing about, again, doing everything at once. My time frame for a lot of this is, I would say by the end of this year, I want to definitely be making some sales. But again, that's just a general time frame. Right now, I'm just focusing on creating the best designs that I can right now. I'm not worried about, oh, you don't have any followers, I don't give a shit about none of that. Because one thing that I've learned is, social media, because of how it works, because of how it exposes you to crowds, is it'll have you thinking that you should kind of just stop and give up because you're doing all these things and you don't have any followers. And a lot of people that have followers, they basically just kind of learn loopholes. Like I know this for a fact. I know for a fact that I can get a bunch of followers and subscribers right now. My ex-girlfriend, she did some things to my page where I don't know what the fuck she did, but she showed me how to basically get a bunch of followers in like one day. You know what I'm saying? So I know for a fact there's certain like things you can do with the algorithm. It's just all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not focusing on the numbers. I know when I'm at that stage and I'm ready to, when I actually want the exposure, I know that there's things that I can do to get my following and support up pretty quickly. It's just that I'm not focused on that right now. I'm just focused on making a good brand and a good product making people within the same niche, one niche, but it's different types of people within that niche, you got men, you got women, and everything else in between. So um, that's though. I'm at just focusing on promotion. On making cool designs, unique designs, and just to reiterate, the website has been redone, so that part is done. I really gotta like lock in on this, just making good products and good designs, and then when that stage is done, um, and I won't be done, but I'll be done to the extent that I feel like promoting myself when people come and see what I have, they'll be like, okay, cool, I like this. Like I got because of the designs that I had originally, they were okay, but like they were basically just designs to kind of start the brand. But now I'm kind of strictly. But I did just buy some designs. I bought some designs, um, and I got the right to resell them. And I will keep some of those designs, but like right now, I'm kind of rotating out a lot of that stuff that I started out with because I want to kind of just make most of my stuff now from scratch, or at least with AI or Chat GPT. Um, so a lot of the designs that I had starting out, I'm kind of like rotating out. And my goal is to basically not replace all of my startup designs, but replace a good bit of them, because the brand is all about, being unique, being different, kind of being bold, kind of a little bit crazy. It's the brand is kind of meant to stand out. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about my brand a little bit today. I don't talk about it much on this channel, but my brand that I'm working on is Infinite Nature. Um, Again, if you have any, um, if you're curious about it, I will post a link to the website on this in the description to this video. Um, yeah, I kind of want to talk about some more stuff though, but that was one of the main things that I wanted to talk about in this video was my brand because I don't talk about it a lot. Because I don't know, I need to start promoting it more. But I'm the kind of person where like I feel like if something's not necessarily done yet, I don't like to really bring attention to it. But now that the website is done, I kind of feel better about talking about it. But I really want to just have a lot of designs on there that I'm proud of, basically. One thing I learned was like, nothing is perfect. You're never going to make anything perfect. One thing that I've learned is nothing that I do will ever be perfect. I used to try to do everything perfectly, make the perfect design and the perfect clothing, like absolutely like no imperfections. But I've learned that over time, like you kind of get better. You never really perfect anything. You just get better than what you were, you know. Um, so I've kind of now, like you do want to have stuff that is, presentable as a product to sell, but this whole idea of doing everything perfectly, I gave that up. I'm like, I'll never create anything perfectly. And perfection is a concept. Perfection looks different to everybody, you know? So, yeah, man. Even like this channel, like the fact that I have zero, listeners right now or viewers right now, most people would like not even make a video. But I'm like, somebody's going to see it eventually, you know. And if nobody else sees it, I'll see it. I just don't believe that numbers or how like the metrics basically work on YouTube that basically can tell me, what I'm worth or how if I'm good enough. I used to believe that, but I don't believe that no more. The more time goes on, the more I realize that a lot of the things that, YouTube and Facebook, a lot of these metrics that they use, they're not necessarily as accurate as people think they are. I mean, there may be some truth in them, but I don't care if you have 0 followers. Like, if I watch your channel and something that you're saying to me makes sense and I find valuable, I'll subscribe. I don't care if you don't have 1 subscriber. That's just how I am. I do want to kind of, hold on one second, y'all. My nose is kind of like running a little bit. So, blow my nose because allergies are kind of like messing up. Sorry. So I'm gonna say this. Sorry, I thought I was tripping for a second. I'm like, okay, where's my gas can at? Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna like switch topics real quick. So I have more like updates too. So y'all know that, I've been trying to, for those of you that actually watch my channel, I stay in an RV, and originally I got the RV because, I wanted to travel and do RV living. So I'm learning that the government basically, and just authorities in different areas, are starting to crack down on nomadic dwellers, meaning people that kind of are mobile, nomads basically, which is understandable in a lot of cases because a lot of people, like, they're just kind of literally just parking anywhere on the streets and just like literally just putting their trash and stuff everywhere. So I understand, it to a certain extent. I understand that, okay, you can't have people living, in other words, you can't have people doing like nasty stuff like, putting their waste on the roads and stuff like that. That's just not okay. People are just basically just outright living on really anywhere. There's some states like California and where the problem of homelessness has gotten to a point where it's very unsanitary, it's very unpleasant for the people that live in the area. And so the government has really started to crack down on nomadic dwellers, basically, right? I've been hearing about it more and more. My parents were talking about it recently, about how, we know you want to travel and move out there and stuff like that, just don't you should be aware that, they're starting to crack down on people that, have RVs that, are traveling or living in them and stuff like that. So, I had a plan as well, to basically acquire land, right? And basically acquire large portions of land and use it for like stuff like mobile home parks and kind of like getaways and stuff like that. I still have plans to do that. I just don't have no idea how I'm going to acquire the funding or the resources to do it. But I feel like I have more of a reason to do it because a lot of the people and the nomadic communities are really starting to have a hard time with being able to, experience that life and live that life, because a lot of them, they don't really have places to go, and the places that they do have to go, they're super expensive. So my idea was to acquire land and basically make it extremely affordable to where people can kind of come and stay for damn near almost free. And if they want to stay longer, it's a very, very uh, inexpensive price. But I'm trying to make it to where you can stay there for a short period of time while you're traveling for free. And then if you want to like do like an extended stay, it'll be like a small fee to kind of like pay for like certain stuff like water, electricity, sewage, and stuff like that. Um, and I want to. My plan, my vision is to have areas like this, kind of like all over the place in different states, as I gain more funding, and I want to figure out a way to do it where I can basically get funding from the government to where I can solve a problem to where, okay, y'all are complaining about all these, people, but if I do this in this way, like there's definitely going to be certain rules and shit to where, because I don't want my shit trash either. So like it's not going to be a place where you can just kind of just come and just kind of trash it up. It's going to have security, but it ain't going to be like overly uptight. But like you're not going to come there and trash it at the same time. Like it's for everybody, but at the same time too, you're not going to fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? It's like yeah, it will have security and stuff like that. Um, but my whole intention is to somehow get funding to get certain pieces of land in very nice areas, by the way, to where I can create a keep a free lifestyle for like nomadic dwellers and nomads and stuff like that, and also help to solve a problem to where these people that travel nomadically, they have somewhere to go, and the government and local authorities aren't complaining about they're all parked on the street. Again, you cannot trash these areas. You will not be able to trash these areas. You will not be able to just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be a place you can just fuck it up. Like, it's going to be a nice area. It's going to be, organized, but it's going to be nice, but it's going to be a place where, you know, you can come, chill for a few days, and after those few days, if you want to like stay longer, you pay a small fee. You can stay for a certain period of time. And I plan on having like solar technology to cut back on energy consumption, and like obviously water, and probably maybe like some, I don't know, satellites for like TV and stuff like this, different things to make it very comfortable and have a level of modern convenience and comfortability. But yeah, so like I definitely plan on doing that, and that can be a form of income for me as well, while also, like I said, solving a problem of people that are traveling that don't really have anywhere to go. Maybe you're traveling through a state and you don't really know where to park at, and it can be anything like that. But I just want to give people I want to create something for people like me. So like if you want to just free, you don't want to be bound to one area, we have these areas across the country that you can kind of pass through, kind of like a resting place where you can rest for a while. You got water, you got running water, you got you can hook up your sewage lines and stuff like that. You can drain your tanks. All these things will be funded, and again, it'll be funded because if the government sees a way that it's beneficial to keep all of these rogue nomadic people just from like parking anywhere, they have their own designated place that is nice, that is clean, that is sanitary, that's not getting in the public space. It's like I say, it's nice. It's nice. And very, very, like I said, very, very comfortable, very, very peaceful and safe. You know, safety is huge. You know, so yeah, that's my. I just got to work, y'all, just now. So give me 1 second. All right, I want to check in with my other partner here. I'll be clocking in here soon. I'll be getting to work too early sometimes. I ain't supposed to be here till 10, but it's 9:45. I don't think he minds because he can kind of leave a little bit early. But yeah, yeah, man, that's something that I kind of feel like I'm going to be forced to kind of create because the more they crack down, the more that I'm gonna, or people that live this lifestyle of traveling and freedom, they're going to need some way to travel because you can't just park anywhere. I understand, like I understand you can't just have people. I see both sides of it. I see where there's a side of people that do it and they're not necessarily. Let me come on down here real quick. She might be ready to go. There's a side of it where people they do it and they're not necessarily as reckless about it. They're not doing a lot of the things that these other people are doing. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. One second. Oh.
All right, man, everything's good. I just now went back about an hour ago, so all doors shut now. They been painting, man. They been left stuff open all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Everything's good now.
Okay.
All the keys are in there, and
I love my jacket.
I'm not here tomorrow, so I'll see you next week.
Okay.
All right, man. You have a good one.
See you. Yeah, that's the guard that works here before me on my shift. He seems to be pretty cool. I try to get here a little bit early because he works a second job, and so I try to get here a little bit early so you can kind of leave and leave a little bit earlier. Like I say I don't have to be here till 10, but I got here at like 9:45 or 9:46, whatever, and it's just I try to do that so you can kind of just leave a little bit earlier, and because he has a second job. So, but anyway, but yeah, so yeah, I just recently came across that information, and so I'm realizing that whenever I get to that point, I want to try to not want to. I gotta say I want to. I'm going to utilize my credit to start to buy land and get certain permits and stuff like that to start converting them into like solar or a combination of solar and electric, like campgrounds, really inexpensive campgrounds for like that are basically intended for nomadic dwellers or nomadic travelers, van lifers. I don't care if you have a car, you know what I'm saying? People like that, there'll be picnic areas and, depending on how much woods area there are, probably little trails and stuff like that. I'll probably convert some to like little getaway retreats and stuff. But that's my intention with that. And I feel like I'm going to kind of have to do that because I feel like, you know, the problem has gotten out of hand. Like I said, I was kind of upset before, but after I seen a lot of the stuff that, you know, a lot of people were doing that were homeless and kind of like dirtying up some of these neighborhoods, like, I'm like, I can understand why they're getting so tough on it, why they're cracking down on it, because you can't just be parking on the side of a anywhere and then, you know, people got, you know, feces and stuff, they're dumping out their wastewater and stuff. No, that's just fucking disgusting. You can't be doing that. That is disgusting, and you can't do that. That's absolutely um just unacceptable. And like I said, I understand. Like I said, I'm a person where I try to see both sides of an issue. You know, at first I was like, why they cracking down on nomads? Why, you know, it's just a control thing. But now I'm like, I do believe that in some cases it is about control, but at the same time too, you know, you got people living in their neighborhoods, like this is their home too. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know, where they shop at and take their kids at to enjoy certain areas. And then you got, you know, homeless people, you know, some are getting, you know, high off of like these really horrible, hard drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's not okay. You know, it's not okay. Now, you're not going to be doing that shit, you know, in my establishment either. But at the same time, too, I don't plan on being like overly uptight. But you're not going to come there and turn it into like some trash dump either. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be some level of, you know, standard of cleanliness and sanitation. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to everybody, but there are going to be certain guidelines to keep it from getting trashed and, you know, dirtied up and, you know, bullshit like that. Like, you're not going to do that there either. But if you know, you're looking for a place and you don't have a lot of money to spend to stay, you know, at the same time, yes, you can come here. You're not going to bring your bullshit, your craziness, your ratchetness. Like I said, there will be security, but I really believe that if I do this the right way, like more than likely, like the officials and governments, I feel like I can get some kind of funding because I'll be basically helping to alleviate a problem with all of these, you know, all these van lifers and, you know, people consider them homeless if they don't have a physical address. So I feel like I will basically be giving a lot of these people places to park while they're traveling or going wherever they're going. Again, it's just going to be done in a safe and sanitary way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if anybody has any type of ideas or places or resources I can kind of reach out to kind of like maybe like start the process of that, feel free to like direct me into like some type of area or resources, because I have no idea how I'm going to do this. But if I want to live this lifestyle, I feel like they're going to start cracking down more on nomads the more that as time goes on. I do believe Trump is serious about getting rid of this homeless problem. And again, I understand where he's coming from because I've seen the videos. I've seen how there's just, you know, RVs like just parked everywhere. You just you can't do that. And that's not fair for the residents there because they deserve to have clean streets. They deserve to have sanitary streets. They deserve to have an area that you walk down the street, it shouldn't be smelling like piss and shit. That's absolutely just disgusting and unacceptable. So I do believe that Trump is going to start cracking down more on this stuff. So I'm trying to find a solution so that we can still maintain, you know, our lifestyle, our way of living, which is nomadic, which is a free lifestyle, and still not basically, you know, infringe in other people's spaces of living and stuff like that. So yeah. So that's that. I just wanted to mention that because, you know, going forward, I was thinking about that, you know, but I got to just handle one thing at a time. You know, my biggest obstacle right now is getting my brand exposure, getting sales, and marketing that. So I'm trying to get a little bit more motion with that, but I'm not like overly like rushing myself, but I do want to be at a certain point. So I am trying to learn how to make deadlines for myself. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me clock in real quick. Let me clock in. I'm back, y'all. I'm gonna just go ahead and walk down here and close this gate because yeah, I don't feel like doing it later. But yeah, so yeah, my main goal is to to be able to accomplish all this, y'all. Like I gotta get to a certain point because I gotta have the income to justify any kind of loans that I'm gonna need to invest in getting any kind of loans. But once I get some initial additional income from like my store, assuming that it's enough, the banks or the people that loan you money for like the land, they'll say, okay, you know what, this is enough money to justify giving you this land. And then once I get that first initial piece of land and I give them a rough estimate of how much money or income that land can generate, then they'll basically be more willing to give me more loans to acquire other pieces of property or projects on those properties. So, you know, I gotta just get to a certain point before I can do this kind of stuff, you know? So, you know, this is why I'm kind of trying to, I'm trying to get my credit back up to a certain point because my credit was really, really good up until like, I would say like 4.5 months ago. And then I thought that they basically had dropped the student loan payments, which they did, but then like they started them back up again. So I kind of just stopped paying it. Lo and behold, like they basically started to penalize me for like basically not paying on it. But in my mind, I was like, well, they stopped because like Biden had did this thing where he was like forgiving like all loans. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna pay on no more. Make a long story short, my credit went down drastically. I had like a 720, 730, and then like my credit took a hit, and then I had like a bunch of inquiries for some things I was trying to get. So a combination of the inquiries and the student loan late payment, it took my credit score from like a 730 to like a 5 something. So now I'm basically building my credit back up. So I'm almost at a 600 again now, but you know, yeah, needless to say, I was kind of pissed off, but it was kind of my fault, but like not really. Anyway, I'm building my credit back up. So now I'm having to do that. And, you know, it's just a lot of shit that you have to kind of oh, yeah. Gotta lock this shit right here up. And more than likely, I'm going to just do my first round because I have to do like 3 rounds tonight, meaning I have to walk around 3 times a night and scan the area basically, or there's certain areas that I have to scan to. Come on. Cage up while holding them at the same time. It's a little bit of a challenge, but it ain't too bad. Come on. And all locked up. All right, so yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is do a round right now And that way I only have 2 more rounds to do for the rest of my shift. The heck is that? I don't know what that is. Is it a rock? Is it a, oh, it's like a piece of plastic or something. Anyway, but yeah, that's something that happened recently. Build my credit back up. So hopefully when I get to like an 800 score, I'll be able to easily access pieces of land, and I'll be at a point to where my business is generating extra income, to where the loaners will more easily lend me the money so that I can buy properties to generate money, to buy more properties to generate more money. You know, that's the plan. I have no idea how I'm going to actually do it, but this is just my intentions that I put out in the universe. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to probably need lots of help and lots of, you know, advice when it comes to actually doing these things. But I just not have a way to travel and keep experiencing that life. I feel like it's a very beautiful way of living, as long as it's done in a way that's respectful and thoughtful of other people's, you know, of other people, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, understand both sides of it. You gotta be respectful, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be respectful of people's space and environment as well, you know what I'm saying? I seen one video where, you know, there was people complaining about, you know, very bad unsanitary smells near a beach where, you know, kids and neighborhoods were. And I'm like, yeah, if I had kids and, you know, you had people doing hard drugs on the side of the street, parked on the side of the street and on the side of, you know, where beaches and stuff like that in public areas, like, I would be pissed off too. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you're just parking and you're not really making a mess, you're keeping your area clean and you're being respectful and sanitary. But when you're just kind of being messy, then when you leave, you know, you leave behind garbage and mess and trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, you want to stay somewhere, like, keep it clean. Like, make sure it stays nice. Don't come somewhere and then junk it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, just seriously. So anyway, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, you don't do that. We don't do that here. That doesn't fly. Not at all. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to turn this AC on because all right. Oh, here we go. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to do a round since I'm already up. And so I got like, y'all, I've got like so many designs that I've made for my website that I haven't even like released yet. Because like I said earlier, I'm trying to focus on just creating a bunch of designs that are cool, that I like, that I would actually wear, before I focus on promoting, you know, and marketing. You know, like I said, you can't do everything. And one thing I learned from watching videos of other successful people is, number one, you can't do everything by yourself, and you're going to need help. And when you do get help, to make sure that those people are compensated well so that they'll do a good job. If you pay them well, be motivated to do a good job. So that's one thing that I'm learning. You have to pay get a good quality of service. So I'm learning that, because if you're not paying me, why would I want to do something? You know, if you're not paying me well, why would I want to? Because I don't want to work hard if I'm not getting paid. If I'm not getting paid well, hold on one. All right, my bad. I had to make a quick phone call real quick. I'm not sure like if y'all heard that or not, but yeah, I hope not. Yeah. So like I was saying, yeah, man, I'm just trying to, and you know, honestly, y'all, this shit ain't easy. Like, this is not easy. Like, I work 2 jobs and technically 3, because I'm back to doing stuff like DoorDash again and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm kind of like in the process of having paid, and yeah, because I'm trying to build that back up. You know, it's trying to start a business while working 2 jobs or more is not easy, you know. And I'm trying to do it in a way where I'm not like overwhelming myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that I can't just get everything done in like one day. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be realistic with, you know, what I can do, but at the same time, like, I try to always be intentional, but I realize that, you know, I can't do everything at once. So it's like, you know, kind of learning how to be realistic and, you know, make progress without like burning myself out, because like I said, I don't really get nothing but like 1 day off a week now with me working 2 jobs. So it's like I'm trying to like, you know, move forward, make progress, but at the same time too, not like over exerting myself to where I just don't have the energy to really do anything, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, it's just, that's how it is, man. That's just how it is. Um, it's trial and error. It's seeing what works. Um, yeah, I don't really have any other, being honest, plans as far as like doing anything, you know, entrepreneurial step. You know, I thought about driving trucks, but it's not really what I want to do. And I felt like I was only thinking about doing that because out of fear. And I looked into driving, it's a possibility in the future still, but I feel like, again, that's a choice that I will be making out of fear. And again, it's something that I really want to do. It's something that I feel like I would do because I'm trying to be safe. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't hate driving trucks, but it's just not something that originally like I felt to do. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, my dad drove trucks most of his life. My uncle drives trucks. And some other people in my family drove trucks. Again, I'm not against it. It's just not something that I really have a passion for. I don't hate it though. You know what I'm saying? But you get to travel, you get to see different areas. So I do like that aspect of it. But it still just seems kind of to me for like my time, and somebody else owning when I can't, telling me when I can and can't, you know, go somewhere. So I don't like that part of it, but I'm not completely against it though, you know? So if I did anything as a backup plan, it would probably be something like that. And that's just like, you know, for like a career. But again, I'm not really necessarily looking to have a career. I'm really looking to create a free kind of lifestyle. And I know That's easier said than done. But this is my intention of the kind of life that I wish to kind of create. You know what I'm saying? Does it sound kind of ridiculous to most people? Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But, you know, if I'm truly a sovereign being that has, you know, full autonomy over, you know, my desires and stuff like that, then at the very least, I can at least imagine the kind of life that I would want to live and then try to create it. I mean, why not? I have a life for a reason. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not here to create the life that I want, then why am I here? You know, I'm not here to just do what I have to do out of fear to survive. I'm here to actually, I exist. I'm here to live the life that I want to live, you know? So that's what I'm trying to do. You know, I have no idea how I'm going to do it, and I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. And yes, it is taking a lot of time, and that's the sacrifice. That's the sacrifice. Time. There's never enough time. But, you know, you're going to lose time anyway. You know, we're all going to die one day. Allegedly. Allegedly. So, you know, what does it matter anyway? You know what I mean? And, you know, I've never been necessarily the kind of person that, like, I'm kind of double-minded when it comes to this kind of thing. I don't necessarily care about leaving a legacy for the reason of I kind of have the mindset of Mike Tyson. It's like Mike Tyson said, you know, I don't care about having a legacy because once I die, nobody's going to give a shit. Once I'm dead and going, it's over. You know, yeah, I'll have some family members. I'll have some, you know, if I have kids or whatever, but eventually they're all going to die too. And once they're all dead, they're going to be forgotten, you know? So, you know, once I'm dead, it's like, who gives a shit? I'm going. I won't be here about it. So it's not that I don't think nothing you do matters, but so many people are so big on, oh, I got to leave a legacy. Like, no, I just want to make life better for me and other people while I'm here. Now, if that ends up leaving a legacy, wonderful. Wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Will there be some echoing effect that's positive that, you know, echoes into eternity of existence? I don't know, maybe. But I won't be here to know about it. Or will I? Or will I? I'm hearing shit. Anyway, so does it matter? Does it not matter? I don't know. But, you know, like Mike Tyson said, you know, once I'm dead and I'm going, who gives a shit? I'm not going to be here. You know, but I do want to make other people's lives better while I'm here and hopefully after I'm going. So it's kind of like the same thing, but like kind of like not really. It's just the idea of it more than it does. You know, that I feel like people make it seem like in the big scheme of things, it's one of matter. And again, everybody sees this differently. And I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. My mindset is once you're dead, you're gone. Whatever happens after that, you're not going to be here to know about it. But at the same time, I would like to know that I left the world in a better place than when I arrived here. And I think in that sense, yeah, sure. So it's a balanced view of, you know, doing good, but not getting so overly obsessed with the idea of leaving a legacy where you put all this pressure on yourself to reach a certain point of whatever the fuck, you know? You know what I mean? Like you're not putting all this pressure on yourself of having to like, you know, giant milestones of of wealth and, being known for doing something amazing. You don't have to do all that. You don't have to put that weight of, becoming somebody that important, but you may still become that important. And if you do, that's wonderful as well. That's great. That's amazing. I'm not going to take anything away from people that, reach that level of, I don't know, notoriety or whatever, I'm not going to take away, what you did to earn that, So it's having a balanced view on, stuff like that, not feeling like you have to do something so big and amazing where if you don't accomplish that, you feel like some type of failure. Like, no, you're not a failure, You're not. Calm your tits. Relax. It's serious, but it's not that serious, So anyway, yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, man. I hope you guys are getting something useful out of this live. I really do hope to travel and meet people and, just, I want to meet cool people, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to also learn to like stop being so fear-based with everything. Because it's just like, yo, you're going to die. You're going to die. Like, what does it matter if you don't get the result that you want? You're going to die. Whether you die and you just, pop out in some, other parallel existence somewhere, or you go back to the source, or, you merge back with God, and you forget all this shit. You wake up and you realize that this was a simulation. I don't fucking know what happens, but something is going to happen to this physical vessel that you're in right now, and you will no longer be occupying this point of focal consciousness, this focal point of consciousness in this avatar. Exactly the details of all that happening, I have no fucking idea. I have so many different theories about, the afterlife, because I have so many different experiences, y'all. Part of me thinks that this is some kind of simulation. Part of me thinks that this is just a dream within a dream within a dream, and etc., etc. Part of me thinks that, there's a small part of me that thinks that this is it. And after we die, so, okay, so here's the thing. I think it's all kind of true at the same time, because think about this. Everyone says that, we live infinitely, right? Excuse me. We live infinitely. So if we live infinitely, what makes you immortal in the sense of you don't die? Okay, so if you're everything, right? If you're God, if you're the universe, all is one, then yeah, in a way you don't die. But if you can't remember like your past life, then are you really immortal? You see what I'm saying? So you can have the knowing of being one with everything, but if I can't remember my past self, then it's going to always feel like my first time here. Now I can tell myself that, yeah, I'm energy, I'm everything, but what makes one immortal, in my opinion, is the ability or the memory. Kind of all saying the same thing. Look at it.
because not dying is basically saying that, you know, what you were before still exists. But I can't remember who or what I was before I was Omar, or the illusion of Omar. But at the same time, I've had experiences to where I have seen and I know that what I call Omar is an illusion. Okay, I've made videos about this in somewhat, and I still have experience like waking experiences and experiences on just from anything from like, you know, just substances to lucid dreaming. I've had out of body experiences. So where for me, those experiences showed me that, okay, there's something going on to where I'm not just this body. There's something else happening here. And for me personally, that was a level of evidence showing me that there's something more going on here than me just existing purely as the concept of this physical body. Like there's more going on, right? So there's a side of it where I know that I'm not just body, but it's like, okay, to what extent am I not just this body? You know, am I consciously, I don't know how to say it, y'all. See, this kind of stuff is so far beyond human understanding and concepts of, you know, real or not real. It's so hard to even begin to try to understand, because there's no real way to describe a concept of real. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we know of to be real is based in the illusion as a part of the illusion. So it's like you can't compare what could possibly be real from everything you know to be real. It's like there's nowhere to begin on what real could be compared to everything that you know real to be based on your concept of real. It's like the movie Matrix said, real. How do you define real? Right? I have no clue what that would be, what that would look like. Like no clue at all. So I did get a little bit, you know, metaphysical and philosophical a little bit. But yeah, man, I do wonder about these things every day. You know, I have these moments where I'll just find myself thinking like, I'll remember that we dying, including me. And like, I don't know what it is, but like lately I've been just noticing, you know, I'll have these moments to where I'll just start to like notice the people around me, they're getting old. And like my parents, like I noticed that my father, he's getting older. He's aging. And it's a weird thing because it's like, you know, it seems like just yesterday, you know, he was like way younger. He was driving trucks. My father, he can't anymore because he lost his vision. He can't see anymore. I'm still like used to my dad, like, you know, driving, you know, tractor trailer trucks, and, you know, he used to like go fishing on his boat and taking me fishing when I was younger, and, you know, riding the jet ski and just, you know, being completely independent, which I still respect him. You know, I still respect him as my father. You know, I still look up to him, but it's just kind of seeing him now. It's like, it just kind of like makes me realize like, damn, like everyone and everything is dying. And it kind of hits me, you know, really hard sometimes, you know, because I feel like I kind of mind is in like this timeless dimension, but my body is physically in this physical realm, and I feel timeless in my mind, but I'm watching everything around me decay and die. Like everyone around me is dying and aging, but my mind feels like I just got here like yesterday. It's weird as fuck, bro. Like I'm like, yo, and it's like I go through like these moments of feeling kind of like blissful and really sad, because I remember like, oh yeah, like my mom's gonna die, my dad's gonna die, we're all gonna die. It's like yeah, duh, of course everybody dies, but like sometimes I really forget that we're gonna die. We're going to die. These bodies are going to decay. You know, there's a part of me that feels like, depending on how conscious you are, you will experience death in a different way. But what I'm saying is, all of our bodies are going to dissolve back into nothingness. And I have these moments, random moments, it can happen at any moment in time. And normally it's triggered by like when I'm kind of just around somebody and I just notice that they look a little bit older, or just something that happens where I'm like, oh yeah, we're all dying. And like, the thing is, we're so busy trying to work and save money and start businesses and, you know, whatever. But we forget that we are here for a very, very short period of time. We forget that, how brief our existence is in these avatars. It is so fucking quick, y'all. It goes by so quick. Just think about it. I cannot believe that I am 36 years old, that I'm 36 years old right now. I cannot believe that. I'm like, when did that happen? Bro, I don't even feel 36, bro. Bro, I don't even feel 36. I still can't even remember when I turned 36. Sometimes I'm just like, when did this happen? When did I get this old? I mean, to me, it's just, but this is how fast nieces. I remember when my sister had my first niece, and she came down from Philadelphia and moved back down here to move back in with my parents. And, you know, when she was a little baby, my sister couldn't get her to go to sleep. So I basically took my little niece and I got her to go to sleep, because my sister, she was just losing her mind because she was tired and she was like crying, I can't get her to go to sleep. So I'm like, just give her to me, you know, I'll get her to go to sleep. So I took her, I told my sister, go to sleep, I got it. So I took her, sat in a chair, just rocked her, and she went to sleep. And then when she went to sleep, I took her and put her back in her crib or whatever, and problem solved. I don't know what I did, but it worked. So anyway, so I remember when my little niece was that age, and my little niece is what, 16 now? 16. I can't believe it. I'm like, when did you get this old? Like, how did this happen? When did you grow up? I'm like, she's like liking boys and stuff now. I'm just like, yo, you gotta stop. Like, you've gotta stop. Like, she loves me to death. Like, my niece loves me to death. My nephew does too. I'm just like, I can't, like, that's what's making me feel old. It's like when I see them and they're getting older, I'm just like, I can't. Like, I'll be good until I see them getting older and starting to, like, you know, be getting interested in boys and stuff. I'm like, oh hell. Like until I seen that, I'm like, I'm not getting old. I'm not. You know, I'm like, man, bruh, this is not happening right now. So, you know, I come back to my point of how quickly and brief our experiences are, our existences are. It goes by extremely, extremely quick. And we don't even realize how quickly it goes by until we realize how old we are and how quickly we got that old. It's really nuts, y'all. When you really think about it, and what makes it so crazy is, again, we get so stuck in survival and preparing for the future, saving money, that so much of our time, of our short amount of time that we have here, is taken up in just, you know, preparing for the future and retirement and saving money and, you know, trying to start businesses. We waste so much of our time on stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that I don't get it, I don't understand, but again, when you realize how quickly this whole thing goes by, you be like, damn, bro, I wish I would have just, I don't know, just enjoyed the shit more. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm about to end this video soon. It's like at what, an hour and 22 minutes. So I think I will end it here. Yeah. Y'all have a good one. And until next time, later.